Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Day is Saturday, June 28th, 2025. Ugh, wow, the month is almost over. How fast can it go? Here we are in southwestern Nevada, not far from the California border, east of Sin City, west of Death Valley, south of Area 51. Hard scrabble. Well, that's not really fair to the places that are actually hard scrabble. So this is pseudo hard scrabble. The people here think it's hard scrabble. The people act, many of the people act as if it is hard scrabble. But compared to hard scrabble, this is luxury. And compared to luxury, though compared to luxury, this is hard scrabble. So I call it perfidy. Perfidy, Nevada. Not perump, we'll call it perfidy. Kind of goes with the poof dirt, right? Poof dirt, perfidy. Anyway, we are here. We're making the most of it, making the best of it, doing what we can. Right, Matticus von Atticus. We're doing what we can to do our best, to go out, love, and serve the Lord. Okay, well, this is G.school day. So Monday through Friday, our goal is to help our students and interested people experience life in 3 dimensions: physically, mentally, and emotionally. Because we are spirit. We're made in the image of God. God is spirit. But we're different in that we have a body that can do incredible, wonderful things, make things, go places, do things. We have a body, we have a brain that's the most complex thing in the universe other than the universe. And we have emotions that make us feel, that give value and beauty to our existence. So we're not just automatons or puppets. We're not just marionettes. And so I reject the people who say everything is due to God. We just are supposed to do his will. God doesn't need us. We are here to utilize the gifts we've been given and utilize and honor the gifts we've been given. Use our body, honor our body, use our brain, honor our brain. Use our emotions and honor our emotions. What that would look like is don't use them to get pleasure out of inflicting pain on others. Nurture the presence within with the audacity, the power and audacity to imagine better versions of ourselves and our community. Right you are. Okay, so we're here to help on that. But the weekends is G.school. G.school, we just focus on the spiritual side. And our theme of today is Woke Jesus? Question mark. Oops. Got a bunch of stuff in here. Woke Jesus. Boom. The false Messiah destroying Christianity. That's our themo of today. We're also, though, This is also day 6 in week 2 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. And our speaker is Jill Bolt Taylor, talking about her stroke of insight. We'll talk about that in a minuet. But first, let's look at our, first, let's look at our worksheet. That's where the magic happens. That's the experts. Who are the experts, you say? Well, there's Joe Riley, S.J., Prayer for Release and Surrender. There is Advice from an 80-Year-Old, TED Talk, Seth Godin, Daniel Amen. That's pretty much it. Gotta do some trimming here for G.school, because then most of it is there we go. Back on most of it is prayers, things that have to do with the spiritual stuff. And one thing that we have posted is the theology for today's nuns. There we go. Theology for today's nun, which is a starting point of a theology for people who are nuns. Something I've been kind of working on for the last 2 years of how do you attract nuns back to church or into the church? How do you do that? So that is attached. It is draft form, so you want to get your copy of it for posterity. Advice from an 80-year-old. Today's advice from an 80-year-old. Beware of the person who has nothing to lose. Right. Beware of the person who has nothing to lose. Why? Because they have nothing to lose. So what does that mean? That means they are predictably unpredictable, and they will take you down. Happened to my lats. Oh, I wonder. Oops. There we go. People who have nothing to lose will take you down because they have nothing to lose. They are at a stage 1 or stage 2 tribe, per David Logan, something we'll see in 2 weeks, where my life sucks. Either life sucks, when those people are sort of dangerous, my life sucks, or my life sucks. Jill Bolt Taylor, my stroke of insight. Okay, so Jill Bolt Taylor she's a brain scientist. She was working in the Harvard lab studying defective brains, the physical structure of defective brains. And one morning she had a stroke. And as a brain scientist, she was able to kind of experience in a way that we can't. So not a lot of fear, a lot of, wow, this is kind of interesting, but it's scary, but not panic. And then as she went through her 10 years of physical therapy recovery, to get back to as close as she was before, she had a lot to contemplate. And so basically, what happened with her was a blood vessel burst over here. And so when the blood vessel bursts, what happens? Blood is leaking into your cranium, into your skull, but it has nowhere to go. So instead of circulating through your brain, it's now pouring out into your cavity, brain cavity. And as it's going, it's damaging neurons, very delicate things, and they're not designed to be in a solution that is blood. It's supposed to be a very thin solution of cerebral spinal fluid, something like that. Anyway, so that's going in her brain. It's damaging neurons. And for her, that was manifesting instead of both hemispheres of the brain working together. And she pulls the brain out and he shows that, and she goes, see, there's two halves. The brain isn't one solid thing. It's a thing that has two halves, and it'll open up like this, and you can see both hemispheres. So she says, as this one was kind of flickering out because of the blood, she was 100% experiencing what it was here. And this is what she calls nirvana, or la-la land, where her body ceases to distinguish from other objects, and it's just pure energy. And nirvana, it's this wonderful state of being, but this is the side that has the rational thought that, hey, I got to get bananas, wake up, to that. So her brain wasn't working together, it was flickering between one side and the other. And so she describes it quite well. Our purposes for watching the video, the reason we care about it, is to really understand, again, this is the week we talk about our brain, right? How does the brain work? Neurons, neurotransmitters, reticular activating system is just a brain scientist talking about how complex the brain is. Her point was to say, when my right hemisphere is connected to everything through my senses, so it's just senses flooding in, and the left hemisphere is the part that kind of makes sense of them. So the right hemisphere, all the experiences of the outside world are streaming in through my brain. My left hemisphere makes sense of it. And when my right hemisphere is controlling, I'm one with everyone else. It's in nirvana. And her point, her insight, is that we should develop that and choose to experience that, the oneness of everyone. That we should choose to experience that. So that is Jill Bolt Taylor. Let's see what Seth Godin has to say. Education is free, learning is expensive. That's a complete reversal of how it used to be. It used to be learning is free, education is expensive. College used to be measured by how many books they had in the library. Access to courses was restricted. If knowledge was power, controlling access was essential. They even called it the admissions office. Part of the status that comes from higher education is that they controlled who could find the information and who was left behind. Today, of course, all of the information is there, a click away. Billions of people have a smartphone with access to everything ever recorded and written, but also to a $1 trillion AI system that can offer informed guidance. So why hesitate? Why do we get stuck or avoid even acknowledging that it's possible? Because we've learned it's hard. It creates tension. It takes time. Most of all, it requires a commitment to becoming something else, a bet we're making that might not turn out the way we hope. The system has called our bluff. If you want to learn, learn, but we pay for it with effort. We pay for it with effort, right? Learning, education is free. Learning is expensive because it takes effort to learn. Yes, this goes back to Socrates. Electrification, like an electric fish. All right. So how's we doing for time? What's on our agenda for today? Today's a busy day for me. Got to get out to Pratt Tatatouille and go to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And who knows what? Who knows the shadow do? So, should we call it? Yes, we'll call it a day. See if anything else exciting happens. And nope, we'll just call it a day. Okay, and with that, we're going to say and cut.